Hey, welcome back. I was walking through the Met a few weeks ago, just letting my mind wander after a long day, and I stopped in front of this tiny, perfect Rembrandt self-portrait. And I had this overwhelming thought. What if it just vanished? Not just from the museum, but from the world. The sheer, audacious loss of it. That feeling is at the heart of one of the most brazen, baffling crimes in history. A crime not of violence, but of vanished beauty. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is Underworld Kings, the Rise and Fall. And today, we're stepping away from mob bosses and drug lords to investigate a theft of a different caliber. This is the story of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist. A billion-dollar mystery that remains, to this day, a gaping wound in the heart of the art world. So, picture this. Boston, March 18, 1990. The early hours of the morning after St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Two men dressed as police officers buzz the security door of the Gardner Museum. They tell the two young guards on duty that they're responding to a disturbance. It's a believable ruse. The guards, against every protocol, let them in. And just like that, the thieves have control. They handcuff the guards, duct tape them in the basement, and get to work. But here's the first strange detail. They're not in a hurry. They have a list, but they also have time to wander. For 81 minutes, they roam the silent, palace-like galleries. They cut paintings from their frames, leaving ragged rectangles on the wall. They take small items, delicate sketches. They even grab a precious ancient Chinese bronze goo from a display case. And then, they simply disappear into the Boston night. The guards aren't found until the next morning. And when they are, the world realizes something irreplaceable is gone. Let's talk about what was taken. Because this isn't just about value. It's about a specific, brutal curation of loss. The thieves took Vermeer's The Concert, one of only 34 known Vermeers in the world, a masterpiece of quiet, luminous intimacy. It is, by many estimates, the most valuable stolen object on the planet. They took Rembrandt's Storm on the Sea of Galilee, his only known seascape. They took his tiny, profound A Lady and Gentleman in Black. They took works by Degas, Manet. In total, 13 pieces. Isabella Stewart Gardner's will was ironclad. Nothing in her collection could ever be moved, sold, or rearranged. So to this day, the empty frames hang on the walls, haunting reminders of what should be there. It's a museum of absences. Now, the immediate question is, why these pieces? And why the strange, almost clumsy additions? The investigation quickly hit a wall. The FBI believes it was likely a local crew, maybe with ties to organized crime. One prevailing theory is that the theft was a get-out-of-jail-free card orchestrated by a mobster to use the art as a bargaining chip for a reduced sentence. But the art never surfaced. And that's the second baffling layer. In over 30 years, not a single piece has been seen on the open market. You cannot sell a Rembrandt or a Vermeer. They're too famous. They're radioactive. So what was the endgame? Did the thieves panic? Were they hired by a reclusive, obsessive collector who wanted these works only for a private viewing, a trove never to be shared? Or did the art get stashed somewhere, and the key to its location die with the thieves? This is where the case fractures into a dozen shadowy possibilities. Names surface: Boston gangsters like Carmelo Merlino or Bobby Donati, who was found murdered. There are rumors of the art being transported to Connecticut, or to Philadelphia, or even to Ireland. The FBI has pursued leads involving the Irish Republican Army. They've followed a trail that led to a French gangster. At one point, they believed some of the works moved through the underworld of the mid-Atlantic states. But every lead evaporates. The museum still offers a $10 million reward, no questions asked. The statute of limitations for the theft itself has passed, so you could walk in with a painting tomorrow and claim the reward, legally immune. And yet, silence. I think about this case often. As an engineer and an entrepreneur, we're trained to look for systems, for logic, for a return on investment. This heist defies all of that. From an engineering perspective, the execution was low-tech but effective. They exploited the human element, the guards' respect for authority. But the plan itself had no viable exit strategy. As an entrepreneur, I think about the product-market fit. There is no market for this product. It's the ultimate illiquid asset. So were the thieves brilliant? Or were they fools? Did they pull off the perfect crime only to realize they'd stolen a ghost? The art is priceless, which means it's also worthless to anyone but the world it was stolen from. There's a personal layer to this for me, too. Coming from Bangladesh, a land with such a deep, ancient cultural heritage, I understand the weight of a stolen artifact. It's not just an object. It's a piece of a collective story, a fragment of human expression that belongs to everyone. When I stand in a museum, I feel that connection across centuries and continents. The Gardner thieves didn't just steal property, they severed that connection. They took the concert from a student in Rotterdam who might never get to see it. They took Rembrandt's storm from a struggling artist in Brooklyn who draws inspiration from his light. That's the real crime. So where does that leave us? With a mystery that has outlived most of its probable perpetrators. With empty frames that are now, ironically, some of the most famous pieces in the museum. The Gardner heist is a lesson in many things. In the vulnerability of even the most cherished institutions, in the chaotic motives of crime, and in the enduring, haunting power of art itself. The paintings are gone, but their absence is louder than their presence ever was. They whisper from wherever they are, a billion-dollar secret the world is still waiting to hear. If you have a theory, I'd love to hear it. Reach out. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, please share this episode with someone who loves a good puzzle. For more stories from the shadows of history, make sure you're subscribed to Underworld Kings wherever you get your podcasts. This is Ibnul J. Farabi from Light Not Studios. Thank you for listening.